Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the players I'm going to be going all in on my main account. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be talking about the players that I'm going to be going all in on my main account. Now I'm selling on my Gundogan investment we made earlier in the week. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why I'm going into this investment. I'm going to be comparing it to last year. I'm going to be talking about the best investments. And yeah, without further ado, let's get underway with the investment. So the investment we're going to go into is going to be fodder. Now the reason for this is this week's promo. This week's promo is Showdown Series, and we got a Showdown Series last year. This is basically a promo where all they do is re-release old promo cards, and then they also release a bunch of Showdown SBCs. Said Showdown SBCs have already been leaked. There's stuff such as a Kanji versus one of the Liverpool guys. We've got ourselves João Felix versus Depay. And again, the SBCs, you basically complete one or the other or both. Then whoever wins gets a +2 upgrade. And if they draw, they get a +1 upgrade, if I'm not wrong. So that's basically the whole promo. 7 days of this, and then on top of that, because there's nothing in packs, because it's this sort of showdown thing, they re-release promo cards. So as a result, where is the investment in this? Well, the investment in this is actually in the gold players who are getting promo cards. Because if we look at the trends on fodder in general during this promo last year, especially if we look at the trends on fodder that went out packs last year, it did really, really well. So, when did this promo come out last year? Up until the 3rd of March, which means the promo was between the 24th of February to the 3rd of March. So, what happened to fodder during the what happened to fodder during the week of this promo? We can see that 91s went from 60 to 65k, which is impressive. We can see that 90s went from Friday 50k up to 54k. Which is decent. We can see that the likes of the 89s went from 38k to 51k, which is decent. We can see that 88s went from 28k all the way up there to 38k, which is nice. We can see that 87s went up from 20k to 27k. We can see that 86s, if we can find them here, went from 16k only up to 18.5k. We can see that 85s didn't do very well because they went from 12k and only rose up there to 13k. We can then head to 84s, and we can see that 84s went from 4.3k up to 5.6k, which isn't bad. Finally, we end up with 83s, and 83s went from 2.5k up to about 2.6k. So nothing odd there. So this means that 91s did well, 90s did well, 89s did well, 88s did well, 87s did well, 86s didn't do that well, 85s were rubbish, 84s were okay, and 83s were a bit rubbish. So basically, it means that only the really high-rated fodder seemed to do well. So why did only really high-rated fodder do well? Well, I guess what we've got to do is we've got to look at the SBCs that were released this week. So in this week, we had a Dani Ceballos SBC, we had ourselves a Molina SBC, we had a Klasinic SBC, a Sola SBC, we had an 85 player pick, we had a Locatelli SBC, we had a 89 World Cup upgrade, we had Icon, we had another Icon upgrade, which is interesting. We had a Sarabia SBC, and then Icon SBCs. We had a Drogba, a Lineker, a Vidic, a Barnes, a Gittins, a Henrich. We had an Elmas, we had a Zacchini, we had an Elliott, a Weghorst, and then a John Stones Murphy, and then that led us into the next promo. So basically, we can see right here that last year, at least, there weren't many cheap upgrades. You know, this week we're getting like a 10 times 83, and then we'll also get an 85 player pick, and we're also going to get a party bag. Well, by the looks of things last year, the only cheap upgrade was the 85 player pick, and then we got this upgrade here, and this upgrade here, And if I'm not wrong, I'm not quite sure if it will show me it will show me perfect. We can see that there were 88 rated squads needed. 86 needed a little bit, 185 there. And then the other squad was a 86 rated squad and 87 rated squad. So this would show us why that we only saw real movement on 87 pluses last year, is because I guess apart from the player SBCs, we all kind of know that player SBCs in comparison to like party bag icons, party bag heroes, just really aren't completed anywhere near as much. Which is why we didn't see the low rated fodder do well, despite there being, you know, plenty of SBCs. It's because the SBCs again just weren't engaging enough in comparison to icon and heroes. Now, this isn't necessarily going to be the same this year, because obviously this year we've got way more upgrades. So I'll be completely honest with you, even though we didn't get many upgrade packs last week, it still wouldn't put me off on investing in the low rated fodder, because the nice thing about the low rated fodder is it didn't go down in price. So even though we can see last year it was kind of very neglected in terms of being needed for upgrade SBCs, even with it not really being needed, it didn't go down. Which means if it's needed as much as it's needed this year, it should do well and go up. So it kind of leads me to think it's basically relatively risk-free, and that we can gamble that the trends are going to be slightly different this year to last year, because just in general this year we get way more upgrade SBCs. So as a result, we like investing in fodder. Fodder, in my opinion, the best stuff to go for is going to be 86s and maybe 87s. You can go for very high rateds, but once again, this year very rarely have the very high rateds done well, and it's all been a lot more on the low rateds. Now again, I think you can generally go with 84s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s. You could go 90s and 91s if you want to gamble on last year, but again, more than not, generally the low rated fodder has heavily outperformed. So what low rated fodder are we going to go and buy? Well, that brings me back to this. Now, all fodder didn't drop in price, which is nice, because it means if you go for the investment I'm about to talk about, and let's say you miss it, or the player doesn't get re-released, then it doesn't matter. So the investment we're going to go into is going to be players that get re-released. So last year they re-released last year they released 20 cards over about 5 or 6 different promos. Well, the nice thing this year is that they are re-releasing 3 promos. Now, how do we know that they're re-releasing 3 promos? So we believe that they're going to go and release basically 20 cards amongst FLAIR and Ice, Winter Wildcard and Team of the Group stage. Now, interestingly enough, this promo basically has... This promo basically has 6 teams amongst them. It's 3 Winter Wildcard teams, 1 Team of the Group stage, and 2 FLAIR and Ice teams. So how we decide which players we're going to invest in is we basically use something called PGP. So we're going to go to players, we're going to go to PGP, and what this does is it gives us this table of players right here. Now, because we know there's 3 promos that are being re-released, we're going to go and look at one of the promos, which is Winter Wildcard. Now, how I would imagine they're going to re-release cards is going to be one of 2 things. Either the most popular cards or the most expensive cards. And the most expensive cards, again, pretty given. It's just the most expensive cards, very easy to see. The most popular cards, we use a filter on here called, basically we click on this. And what this should do is it will sort it via games. So you can see that Balde is the most used card, then we've got Lamptey, Mukulele, Rabiot, Grimaldo. Now, some of these gold cards wouldn't rise out of packs because they're not used for anything. Like Balde has an 81 rated gold card, wouldn't rise out of packs. Lamptey has a 75 rated gold card, wouldn't rise out of packs. Mukulele has a 79 rated gold card, wouldn't rise out of packs. But someone like Rabiot has an 84 rated gold card, and again that is perfect for SBCs and therefore can rise out of packs. Now, we are getting a little bit too low for there being, for them to highly, I guess, likely release these cards if we get down to here. But what we can also do is we can just sort via price. I think it's slightly broken, so I think you do have to manually go through it. But we've got the likes of Ronaldo, 2 million. We've got Salah coming in at 1.8 million. We've got Putellas coming in there at 1.6 million. And if we head over to the second page, we've also got Van Dijk. Now, a lot of these, the base cards aren't really going to be any use to us. For example, Salah. Again, 89s can rise out of packs, but I just don't think they'll outperform the low-rated fodder. So we've got Salah, who could go out of packs. We've got Putellas, 91, who could go out of packs. And Van Dijk, who only just went in packs on this Wednesday. But that leaves us with someone like Ronaldo, whose base card again is an 86, and therefore should be a good investment. And as a result, I'd go and happily invest in Van Dijk. Like I said earlier, though, you can literally go anything 84 and above, because we did see the high-rated fodder do very well last year. It's just I think they'll change the SBCs they did this year, or last year to this year, which is why I'd favour the low-rated fodder or to mid-range fodder over the excessively high-rated fodder. So that's really all I'm looking to do, or looking to put my money into. It's going to be getting out of Gundogan. Why am I getting out of Gundogan if golds don't go out of packs? Just because, golds don't drop this Friday. Just because Gundogan at the moment is like 1.5k more than all other 86s. So I prefer to sell Gundogan before he goes back in packs and then buy one of the golds that does go out of packs, because again, they do outperform. Haven't showed you that, but I've done all my research, and yeah, the gold cards that went out of packs last year for the Showdown, SBC Showdown week, did a lot better than the gold cards who didn't. So paying a premium of a few hundred coins more for an 86 likely to go out of packs than the ones that aren't likely out of packs is all good. And on top of that, if you do go and buy 86s and they don't go out of packs, do not worry, because they don't go down in price. Because again, all for the last year for Showdown SBC week rose. When you're going to sell your fodder, you're going to go and sell it on the Thursday. Thursday after 6 PM is normally always the play. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with an episode of the Ginola Road to Glory.